Hello everyone, and welcome to our Environment and Sustainability Committee webinar. I want to extend my warm greetings to everyone. Please tell us, where are you joining from? What was your weekend like? And if you're celebrating Easter, happy Easter to you all. As we are custom here in Croatia, we join with our families around the table, so it's everyone is very happy and full of sugar rush. So it's in that we will continue with this webinar and start our week with the important topic about sustainability. I want to say a few words before I introduce our speakers about our Environment and Sustainability Committee. It was established in 2021 with the aim to help both EASE as an association and to you as EASE members and sister society members in reaching sustainable development goals. And the first thing was signing the UN SDG Publishers Compact. And since one of the action points of the compact are to also promote and advocate for SDGs, then the Environment Sustainability Committee has created a document called EASE Manifesto with a set of recommendations that you can use as a journal editor or publisher to reach SDGs. And since collaboration and partnership for the goals is one of the Sustainable Development Goals, we later joined with Higher Education Sustainability Initiative and conducted a survey about the impact of UN SDG Publishers Compact and EASE Manifesto on the journal policies and how these goals are reached. And we have published the article in October 2024, and we will talk about it and about the SDG checklist, which we are now developing at our 18th EASE conference in Oslo, which will be from 14 to 16 May. And our secretary, Mary Hodgson, will put you later links to it. So we were talking a lot about what you can do as a journal editor or a publisher in reaching SDGs regarding your workflows, your whether you are printing material, just publishing online, how can you reduce your carbon footprint, to use like energy efficient appliances, etc. But we didn't talk much about how to obtain create SDG-related content and promote it. So this is why we have organized this webinar on some tips and examples on how you can acquire, promote, and collect the data related to the SDGs and use it for the promotion, not only authors and articles, but for your journals and publishing houses as well. So I'm very happy to welcome our two speakers today. Tibor Komar, who is assistant professor from the University of Zagreb. I'm also employee of the University of Zagreb, so he's also a member of our Environment Sustainability Committee and editor-in-chief of Studia Ethnologica Croatica. So hi, Tibor, and welcome, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. Thank you for being here after a busy weekend. And the second speaker is Kaustuv Mittra. He's a content acquisition specialist from Wiley, coming to us from India. And thank you, Kaustuv, for being here, for accepting our invitation, and for joining us today.
Thank you, Iva.
We are very
Pleasure
happy
to be here.
We are very happy to have you both here. So I'm seeing a lot of people are joining us and welcoming us in the chat. So I would like to start with Tibor, who will talk about their journal and how they are organizing their publication of the special issue dedicated to SDGs, and what they are doing in a journal which is published by the Faculty of Humanity and Social Sciences. So he's coming from a perspective of an academic editor of a small academic journal. So Tibor, please share our screen with us. While you're sharing the screen, I will say that you can put your comments in the chat. Of course, if you want to share your journal, what is your journal doing in order to reach SDGs or to promote SDG-related content, or your publishing company, and how are you yourself promoting, since I see that Hasib Irfanullah from Bangladesh, my co-chair of the Environment Sustainability Committee, is here. Also, he will be active, I am sure, in the chat. And if you have any questions, please put them in Q&A, and then we will address them later. And this webinar is being recorded, so you will receive the link to the recording later. So Tibor, please, you can take the floor.
Thank you, Iva, for this nice introduction. As you already noted, I'm here to talk about SDGs from the perspective of an editor-in-chief of actually a small anthropological journal, which I will just briefly present here so you can see the context we are actually publishing in. Our journal is called Studia Ethnologica Croatica. It's a journal which is annual journal, which is actually published by the Department of Ethnology and Cultural Anthropology of the University of Zagreb. We are actually focused on the ethnology and cultural anthropology fields, but we are usually and very often we're publishing the articles from other related disciplines and other interdisciplinary articles which deal with different subjects. Of course, we are from Croatia, so we are mainly focused on the Central and Southeastern Europe, but that is not the sole area of our focus. We are also accepting articles from different subjects and different areas. Of course, as within the scope of our journal, we are usually inclined to publish texts which are grounded in ethnography and usually the subjects which deal with local reflections on global processes. And one of the things I will talk about, which is actually almost like a case study here, is our last issue, which was published in December 2024, so 5 months ago, which had a thematic section, which is something we do almost every year. We are actually putting a thematic section as an individual part of the issue, which is actually most of the time endorsed by some of the guest editors which are experts in that subject. So just a few words more brief history of the journal. We are this is actually the first issue was published in 1989. This is the 36 years ago. In 1993, the journal changed the title to Studia Ethnologica Croatica, and from 1999 for the last 26 years, it is published by Department of Ethnology at University of Zagreb. We are indexed in the most of the databases, of course, the published articles, of course. Most maybe notable are Web of Science, Emerging Sources Citation Index, and Scopus, which are and the Directory of Open Access Journals also, which cover a lot of the area within the scope of cultural anthropology. We've been in Scopus list for the last 15 years, ranked depending on the year, in the areas of anthropology and cultural studies. In the quarters 2, 3, or 4, depending on the field of ranking. And pretty recently, 2 years ago, we were also awarded a Journal Impact Factor, and for the first time included, our journal was included in the Journal Citation Report by Web of Science. So the last thing I want to say about our journal is that we are an open access journal, so we don't charge any fees to authors or for submission of articles, or we don't. All of the articles are available as open articles at the journal website and at the Croatian scientific portal Hrčak. So when we talk about, most of us are probably familiar with the SDG goals, these 17 goals that have been for the last 4 years in the main focus, I could say, of the editors, because I have to say, in behalf of myself, although I've been a member of the editorial board for 10 years, I have been editor-in-chief for the last 2 years, so I'm actually pretty new to this, let's say, publisher perspective, as I can see, because being an editor-in-chief gets you involved in a lot of, as Iva knows, committees, and gets you in contact with a lot of people from around the world. You can see, you can have a lot of connections and see how things are done, maybe differently, maybe in a more sustainable way. So although we as a journal which is published by the university, so we strive to encompass most of these goals as it is within our reach. And last year, with our last issue, there was an opportunity, as we were, I just wanted to say this, I wanted to thank our colleague Hasibir Fanula for this last, I think it was only a few weeks ago, this article which was published at Scholarly Kitchen, which brings us very interesting data up till to March 2024 for the last 3 years. As you can see, the number of signatories of the SDG is rising, even in Europe, and especially in the Asia and the Pacific. And I was really glad to see that. And although the things, as we all know, SDGs, there are a lot of signatories. I think it is important to have meetings like this. Where we can see how can we actually in practice maybe help attain those goals. So I will also refer to this manifesto from 2020 of EASE, which was authored by Stephen Metters and Alistair Brown, which really reflects the issue we just published, because our thematic issue in the last journal number was actually within the scope of this Anthropocene and human impact on the Earth, and the ways how it is possible to actually reduce the environmental impact on our activities. So to talk about more focusedly about this issue, last year we published this issue with the thematic section with the name "Disaster Anthropology and the Crisis of Capitalocene Anthropocene: Earth Without Earthlings, Both Human and Non-Human." We were, as I already said, we were joined by 2 guest editors. Suzana Marinic, who is our fellow anthropologist, ethnologist from the Institute of Ethnology and Folklore in Zagreb, and Goran Đurđević, who is an archaeologist and environmental historian at the time working at the Beihai College at Beijing Foreign Studies University in China. Actually, they both are co-authors of a lot of books that deal with subjects of ecology and eco-anthropology, about the ways how anthropology should engage with sustainability and all this. The goals that most of them can be found in the SDG. The SDG manifesto. The idea, as we do some other projects together, it was actually their idea to approach us and with this subject, as they already have a broad from different kinds of worlds, a broad network of people dealing with the sustainability subject. So they invited more than 20 people to submit their articles for this issue. We got about I don't know, 14, 15 articles. Not all of them, of course, as our journal is double-blind peer-reviewed, not all of them passed the filter. So at the end, we had 10 articles dealing with this subject. Of course, as I said, the title of the subject is Ethnoanthropology and the Crisis of Capitalocene or Anthropocene. What were we trying to do with it? We were actually seeking to document through these articles the climate crisis affecting all Earth's inhabitants, both human and non-human. And the idea was to provide insight into how these changes has been reflected in local context, where extreme weather conditions such as heat waves and storms are becoming increasingly intense, sometimes even prompting the relocation of the entire urban infrastructures around the world. Meanwhile, we have flood of waste viruses, disappearing, the recorded disappearance of plant and animal species, which has actually became almost everyday occurrence. So in the background of those stories, we saw that the tragic stories quietly unfold, such as disappearance of the bees or the penguins dying due to melting ice. Actually, that's why we took this quote. Actually, it's a verse from punk dada band, we can call them Let 3, which is a verse from a song published 20 years ago, in almost 30 years ago in the 90s, and which actually also at the time anticipated something of let's say disaster and climate challenges. Of course, we also did a kind of in memoriam thing, because dedicated to the golden toad, which is actually the first species proven to have fallen victim to climate change, and it disappeared from its habitat in Costa Rica in the late 1980s. I will just go very quickly through the articles, for those 10 articles, which address different kind of subjects, but which all address some kind of environmental issue, or but from a different perspectives. First, we have Sanja Potkonjak, our colleague anthropologist, who explores actually in this article, infrastructure as crisis and violence, ethnographies of the uncertainty and war in the Kosinj Valley. She actually explores the social consequences of constructing Kosinj Reservoir Lake. She's viewing this infrastructural project as an example of developmental violence against the local community, and she analyzes how the community responds to the threat of displacement and imminent submergence of their land. and she's emphasizing the discursive mobilization strategies used to counter those arguments from the government, which are in the line of social benefit, national importance of the project. And she is actually interpreting those narratives of uncertainty and concern within the local community, and she explains them in the context of kind of a local resistance to the domination of the center to periphery. Sanja Puljar-Dolesio from the University of Rijeka, she's investigating in this article contemporary environmental challenges in the forests of it's a region of Gorski Kotar in Croatia, a very mountainous and full forest region. So she is investigating through the lens of interrelations among various species, including humans, plants, insects, and she's underscoring the importance of aligning human activities with the needs of the forest ecosystem, and she's advocating for equal consideration of the ecological, economic, and symbolic value of forests to preserve their vitality. I just wanted to say that of these 10 texts, 5 are written in English, so they are available freely at our webpage, and the other 5 are in Croatian or Serbian, so only the summaries are in English. I'll just continue with Andrija Filipović from the Faculty of Media and Communications from Belgrade and Serbia. He is writing about Vinča apocalypse, necrologies of eventful waste in post-socialist Serbia, which is actually he's trying to, within a framework of waste and disposability studies, he's focusing and analyzing this Vinča landfill in Serbia, which in 2024 where waste to energy production begin at Vinča thermal power plant. However, they discovered that the incinerator capacity is insufficient to manage the annual waste influx, leading to a rapid unplanned filling of the new landfill site that actually wasn't planned. Vesna Krajcer from University of Belgrade, Department of Oriental Studies, she examines the cultural dimensions of earthquakes through the perspective of Japanese mythology and folklore. As you probably know, Japan has a rich and oral and written heritage which links to earthquakes, mythical and animal entities. She's also discussing the 2011 Fukushima earthquake and tsunami, in addition to human casualties and material damage, also which resulted in numerous animal victims. Our two colleagues from the University of Zagreb are discussing two actually different topics. Milka Car is drawing on the principles of eco-criticism. She is analyzing the poetics of disappearance in the 2 novels of Esther Kinsey and Judith Shalansky. She is raising the questions about the ecological vulnerability of a globalized world. And Marieta Bradić, she explores the human and non-human and animal actors in the work of 2 Hungarian artists, the writer Krasno Horkai and screenwriter director Bela Tar, and she identifies through their works kind of a double dialectic and re-evaluation of anthropocentrism into very distinct media. And the 4 last articles, we have Nolo Pupic from Institute of Ethnography of Belgrade, From the Sun City to Kuršumlija, the exotization of dystopian local patriotism in Serbian science fiction, where he examines the 2 stories which are maybe one of the most significant contemporary Serbian science fiction writers and publishers, one novel by Boban Knežević, both focusing on local dystopia, and it demonstrates actually that the dystopian reflections of those 2 writers are political in nature and deeply tied to the cultural, historical, and socio-political context of post-war Yugoslavia. And we have Simon Rao from the University of Split. He delves into the poetic world of W.S. Merwin, who is documenting mass extinctions and environmental devastations in the collections of work, The Lice from 1967 and The Rain of the Trees from 1988, highlighting the Black Garden of Mermis Poetics of Ecocide. And the two last texts are Milan Tovašević from Institute of Ethnography, Interpretive Examination of the 21st Century Disaster Film from an Anthropological Perspective, which actually focuses on disaster films, the most persistent cinematic genres, concluding that this genre detects phenomena and details we can relate but never initiate changes affecting our comfort habits and consumption. And the last article is an interesting, let's say, interdisciplinary co-production from Raudo Mederis Costaneto from Department of Biology and Ana Cecilia Stalita-Lins from Master Student in Literature, which they bring, let's say, a kind of a new theory using a non-Cartesian theoretical foundation. They introduce a concept of liminal biology and the concept of spiritual ecology, documenting how global ecological changes cause diseases, deformities, and death among elementals. So, through this thematic section, we strived to see, to encompass, let's say, maybe not all of the SDG goals that are listed, but I think it is a very good example how editors, let's say from beneath, can maybe push some of the SDG goals up in the hierarchy, and through this kind of thematic sections or invited articles that deal with certain subjects can help attain at least some of these goals. I will finish for now. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Tibor. This is really interesting presentation because I'm coming from the field of biotechnology, and usually when we are talking about SDGs related to the climate action or to the innovation infrastructure or waste reusage, etc., it's always kind of easy to relate the content of our journal to those SDGs. But you managed to do something coming from a different field, actually, to link all types of researchers, from your faculty to the faculty of biology, from the Brazil to Croatia and Serbia, etc. So it's a nice, not only a nice example of how you can promote SDGs through your journal, but also a nice example of partnership for the goals. So I congratulate you on that, because not many journal editors are contemplating on the possibility to organize such a nice special issue. So it's I would say that it's also invitation to you all to think how your journal can also contribute to the SDGs. I'm seeing in the chat that it's very vivid, and Joe and Hasib are putting links to some useful resources that you can read later to save and read later to get some more ideas. So thank you very much, Tibor. And I will leave the discussion for the end after Kaustuv's presentation. So please, Kaustuv, if you can share your screen, and Kaustuv, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Just to confirm, can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see a lot of
okay.
a lot of things going on your desktop. It's the same as mine. Yes.
Okay, but you can see my presentation, right?
I'm seeing some kind of reminders, but not the presentation itself. Okay. So perhaps you should first open it, then. Yeah. Okay. Or you have multiple screens. That's also a possibility.
Yeah,
so
yeah. Okay, how about now?
Yes, that's great. Great.
Okay,
Thanks.
great.
Thank you very much.
Technology, huh?
Yeah, it's nothing uncommon. Usually we experience things like that. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much for having me here today as a speaker and a panelist. I'm going to. I'm from India, and I'm a part of the strategic content acquisition team at Wiley. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what we do, and particularly about some of our initiatives which are focused on acquiring SDG research. I'm happy to actually come after Tibor because his talk focused on special issues, while mine will be more on slightly bigger multi-journal collections. I must say that the fundamental principles of commissioning these collections are very similar, or promoting them are very similar. So we could potentially use the same principles for acquiring SDG content for even your even if you're doing just simple special issues. Okay, without further ado, I'll start. So Wiley is one of the biggest publishers in the world today. Founded in 1807, Wiley is over 200 years old. Today, we have more than 2,000 journals. We work with more than 500 societies, and we have, we're publishing more than 200,000 articles per year. As the, to sort of honor the trust and faith that our customers and partners have in us, we're constantly tailoring our services to meet their evolving needs and requirements. Wiley is also a signatory to the United Nations SDG Publishers Compact, and is therefore dedicated to supporting the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. We already have a dedicated microsite with information about the SDGs, training materials, and insights into how Wiley is supporting the SDGs. I pasted the link in the chat a little while ago, so I'd strongly recommend that you go and take a look at the website for more information. We at the Strategic Content Acquisition Team, or SCA, we are committed to commission high quality SDG-related content for Wiley journals in line, with Wiley's, with Wiley being a signatory to the SDG Publishers Compact. Before I go ahead, I just want to give you a brief overview of our team, which is the Strategic Content Acquisition team. So we essentially help journals grow publishing output to the strategic commissioning of special issues and other curated content like multi-journal collections, thematic collections, and so on. We carefully curate our content based on different available opportunities like trending topics, academic events like conferences, anniversaries, and so on. Journals like to work with us not just because we commission articles for them, but also post-publication metrics have established that articles published through our initiatives typically have higher visibility and receive more citations, thereby enhancing the impact of the journal. We also collaborate with marketing teams to further drive authorships and citations for our journals. Our approach is essentially two-pronged. On one hand, it's based on relationships and trust. So we directly work with our editors and editorial board members to develop proposals. We also focus on interacting with our potential guest editors and authors through our outreach programs. We also provide thought leadership on content development of our journals. We also work a lot with data. We use different kinds of data analysis, like keyword analysis or post-publication trends to develop proposals, to identify authors, and for market analysis. Here is a list of ongoing special issues focused on various SDG themes. We've commissioned these special issues by attending conferences focused on SDG themes, data analysis, and working closely with our editors and editorial board members with the aim of acquiring SDG-related content. You'll see this is these are basically sort of in the physical sciences domain, and that's because I work in the physical sciences domain. So essentially, this is not a comprehensive list. If you have if you would like to know more about the special issues that we are doing in other subject areas, please reach out to me, and I will connect you to the appropriate colleague. So at this stage, I'd like to discuss this very exciting initiative that we are currently working on, which we call the Sustainable Development Goal Commissioning Project, or the SDG Commissioning Project. Before I sort of dive into the details of the project, we give you a little bit of a background. What we've seen is that multi-journal collections have great potential to attract a variety of contributions from different research areas which are relevant to the SDGs. Let me quickly clarify the term multi-journal collections for those who may not be very familiar with it. So just like in a special issue, you have a single journal involved. In a multi-journal collection, you can have 2 or more journals involved, sort of accepting submissions on the same topic or theme. The reason why we sort of like multi-journal collections is because multi-journal collections sort of help us expand the scope of the collection. So if you have more and more journals with different aims and scope join the collection, then we can sort of expand the scope of the collection, have a more versatile collection. We've also seen that authors prefer multi-journal collections because they like to have the options to submit to a journal that they journal of their preference. We've done 2 previous multi-journal collections even before this project. They were based on SDGs 3, 4, and 5. So they were gender equity in healthcare and gender equality in education. And both of them were very successful, which further motivated us to sort of launch this project. With this project, we wanted to take things up a notch. We now aimed for 4 collections across life sciences, physical sciences, health sciences, and social sciences, with the aim of publishing in-demand, high-quality content, community awareness through large-scale marketing, editor engagement, and enhancing societal impact for our participating journals and fulfilling the SDG Publisher Compact goal. So the first step of the project was to select the appropriate SDG for each collection. And for this, to sort of create maximum impact, we decided to sort of play to our strengths, for which we started analyzing our publication data. So if you look at the table on the right, this table has the SDGs ranked according to the number of articles that were published in Wiley in 2022. So for example, good health and well-being, which is SDG 3, had 27,000 articles. SDG 7, affordable and clean energy, had 12,000 articles, and so on. Based on these numbers, we decided to stick to the top 3 SDGs for our collections. So we decided to launch our health science collection based on SDG 3, good health and well-being. For our physical sciences collection, we decided to go with SDG 7, affordable and clean energy. And for our life sciences collection, and also for our social sciences collection, we decided to go with SDG 13, climate action. Once we had finalized the SDGs, we then started approaching the relevant journals to discuss their participations in the individual collections. As I explained earlier, we wanted a broad selection of journals, with varying impact factors, scopes, access models, just to ensure that we have a comprehensive collection and authors can find a journal, where they would prefer to submit. In our invitation to the journals, we emphasized on the growing impact of SDG research, some of the promotions that we were going to, sort of do to promote the collections for increased visibility, as well as some of the commissioning methods that we are going to employ to to commission articles. We received a very strong response, and over 200 Wiley proprietary and society journals enrolled for the project across the 4 special collections, the multi-journal collections. Once we had the journals, we then worked with the editors to sort of finalize the topics and launch the call for papers. So for SDG 3, Good Health and Wellbeing, which is our health sciences collection, we called it a holistic pathway to good health and well-being, integrative approaches to healthcare. For SDG 7, which is our physical sciences collection, we call it Powering the Future, Advancements in Clean, Affordable and Renewable Energy for Sustainable Development. For SDG 13, our social sciences collection, we're calling it Climate Change Towards a Sustainable Future. And for SDG 13, for our life sciences collection, we're calling it Waking Up on Climate Change, Measuring Impact, Focusing Efforts, and Building Futures. Please note that the topics, we really worked very carefully to segregate the topics for the 2, for the health science, the life sciences and the social sciences collection, because they were both based on SDG 13, with the social sciences collection focusing more on framework and policy related to climate change, while the life sciences collection focusing more on some of the scientific aspects behind climate change, like carbon capture, greenhouse emissions, and the effect of climate action on life on Earth, and so on. After launching the collections, we then approached prospective authors to contribute to the collections in their preferred journal. This is, of course, a continuous process, and we're constantly reaching out to authors to, to sort of inviting them to contribute to our collections. Wiley very kindly granted us a budget in this regard, which we used to recruit a collection editor for each of the collections. So 4 collection editors. These collection editors, they are, they're subject matter experts, they're practicing researchers, and they're helping us, build engagement and attract contributions. For authors that are for authors included under the transformational agreements, we're encouraging them to publish their work in open access, because the metrics suggest that open access articles are more read and cited as compared to subscription articles. We also collaborated with teams across, with other teams across Wiley, for example, with the marketing to prepare call for papers, email campaigns to authors, and to prepare promotional material. Now, based on our past experiences, we've realized that promotional activities are sort of the backbone for our collections to do well. We did not want to leave any stone unturned for this project. So we had a central call for papers. We have call for paper banners, which we circulate across different journals. We also actively promote our, these collections through our outreach programs, like, institute visits, conferences and workshops. We plan to have dedicated collection pages soon. There's an example of one of the earlier multi-journal collections that I mentioned, gender equity in healthcare. By the way, this collection is actually still accepting papers. So if you have any questions or would like to contribute to this collection, please reach out to my colleague Kshitija Iyer. You can also just write to me and I'll connect you with her. Once the collection is published, we also plan to have collection promotion banners, which we are going to circulate through our networks to promote the collections. An example is the one for the sort of call for readership banner that we made for gender equality in education multi-journal collection. We have other promotions lined up as well. These include email campaigns to invite authors, recognize and reward 3 best papers for each collection, and promoting the collections through Wiley's SDG microsite, as well as through social media. Okay, this is my last slide. I just wanted to sort of outline some of the key steps based on our experience in organizing the initiatives that I mentioned. The first and foremost is to identify the really relevant SDGs based on publication data. I showed you how we decided to play to our strength and focused on the SDGs that we have published most in. You can do the same for your journals. You can look at some of the publication data based on your internal or external databases and find out which, where you've published the most. You can also do a keyword analysis, analysis of the published keywords and see which SDG themes, sort of align to. You can also use a combination of SDGs, right? Like the multi-journal collections that I sort of highlighted, like gender equity in healthcare, which is SDG 3 and 5, or gender equality in education, which is again SDGs 4 and 5. So the possibilities are endless, and I strongly recommend that you have some data insights to choose the slide, the SDG of your choice. Define the special issue topics. Once you have decided on the SDGs, define the special issue topics based on the scope of the journal. This is very important. These SDGs can be quite broad. Just like I showed you for SDG 13, we have the social sciences collection as well as the life sciences collection. So if you do not have you do not define the special issue topics well based on your journal scope, you can get a lot of papers which are outside the scope of your journal. So I strongly recommend that you work with your editorial board members, editors, and even with authors who publish a lot with your journal to sort of define the topics. Multi-journal collections, if that is an option for you, I would strongly recommend you to consider it to increase the scope and versatility of the collection. I've told you the reasons why we sort of like these multi-journal collections. Identify, once your collection is launched, identify researchers and approach them with compelling invitations. Mention the growing impact of SDGs, the promotions that you plan to have around these collections after they're published, to showcase these collections. If you're having, if you have any plans of recognizing some contributions, highlight those as well. Promotion, I told you, we consider it very important for our initiatives. So I'd suggest actively promote the special issues and collections through your interactions with researchers. And finally, post-publication marketing initiatives. I showed you we have like email campaigns and call for readership banners to attract more readers and citations. Before I end, I'd like to say this, that based on our experience, we think that the academic community, the researchers, they're very interested in actually contributing to these SDG initiatives. If you can plan your content or your special issue or your collections and if you can sort of highlight the promotional activities and how you plan to showcase these collections, I think you're gonna should be able to get some very high quality contributions. With that, I thank you for your time. Apologize if I'm a couple of minutes over time.
No problem. Thank you. But it was very interesting because I saw a collection of articles within one journal, but a collection of articles through several journals. This is rather, major task, and I compliment you on that. And I wanted to ask, do you think that researchers are more likely to publish in such collection of articles from different journals, or do you think that it's perhaps in some way, I don't know, that they are concerned which journals to choose or what journal to choose, or how it should be, how it will be later citable, etc., promoted? Is your experience that more authors tend to publish in such collections or in individual journals?
From our experience, the response to multi-journal collections from our researchers have been really good. The choice of journals that you put in a multi-journal collection is also very important. So when you put a multi-journal, when you design a collection, it's important to have journals with a little bit different aims and scope. Of course, there will be some overlap. Also, different impact factors, just to give them multiple choices. What it also does is that we've seen is that if the researchers think that they are submitting to a particular journal, but the editors think it's not in the scope of the of that journal, they can also refer to one of the journals in the collection. So that way we don't...
Like a cascade submission. You mentioned that it increased the citations to these articles when they were gathered in such collections. Do you have a rough estimate by how much did the citations to articles increase due to this SDG-related content and collection?
I don't have the numbers for the SDG-related collections yet. These collections, they're all either ongoing or have just been published. So the citations, we don't have numbers on the citations. I was referring to the publication, the citations from from our initiatives. There we have seen at the citation per paper is at least 1.2 more than regular issue papers.
These numbers of citations per articles, according to the SDGs, are quite good. So this is something we all aim to do. And I want to ask Tibor, do you stimulate? I saw a question from Joe that you have answered actually. That it would be good to stimulate dialogue between the authors, which is really interesting, perhaps for a panel discussion of sort. But do you stimulate your authors to assign individual SDGs and relate them to the content of the journal? For example, we are doing this in Food Technology and Biotechnology Journal. The authors can choose in the submission system to which SDGs their work is related to, if they feel that it is related to any of them. Are you considering, Tibor, to do this in your journal as well?
Well, that's an interesting idea. We don't have such a system. Well, I have to say another thing related to this thematic issue. We had actually the suggestion from the guest editors arrived already in 2023. So when we started preparing, I think I just started being editor-in-chief. So it was all kind of new to me. And then I must admit, our idea wasn't from the beginning to do the SDG related thematic session per se, but I think our guest editors, because they are so environmentally involved with their other publications, they kind of anticipated this, and then after they came with the idea, we embraced it because we think it's very important for the last, 2 years. We have been trying. So there are always opportunities, and there's always space, as you say, to I don't know, upgrade the ways the authors can approach certain subjects. As you said, we don't have such. Well, actually, as we discussed a few months ago, your journal is really a big one compared to our. According to the number of submissions. Yeah. By a few hundred more than we. So I guess it's just a technical thing. So your authors can probably find much more niche subjects to be involved. We cover, as cultural anthropology really covers all kinds. I can just make an example. The thematic section before this, the year before, was about the sport and discrimination. So completely different. It is also
related.
Yeah, actually, how to do inclusion through sport participation through with doing sport and inclusion with refugees and migrants and everything like that. It is also not the idea. The initial idea in 2022 was not, but we are touching. Before we had the thematic session about photography in general, and before that about socialist monuments. So the thematic sections are really diverse, and we don't actually have such a space to actually I don't know, put authors in some
collection.
Yes, so it all depends.
As Kaustuv mentioned, you can use it for the promotion on the social networks to tag the content of the articles or the journal, which is also relevant. I have Hasib here with us. He has an interesting question. I would like him to ask him to ask you both live. If you can unmute, Hasib. I think
thanks, Iva. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Nice to have you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, both of our panelists, for fantastic presentation and sharing their experiences. My question, which is posted in the section, I was just wondering, which is all good that we are talking about sustainability, the Sustainable Development Goals. We are, of course, we have only a few years to reach to the end date to 2030. But in 2019, there was a new ranking system, university ranking system was introduced by the Times Higher Education, which is solely focused on SDG. And one of the 4 criteria is what kind of journal articles the universities are publishing, which is contributing directly to SDG. As a sustainability person or enthusiast, it is fantastic to me that SDG gets even in the rankings. But my question, that kind of overemphasis actually undermining the holistic nature of.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not sure whether we all hear Hasib correctly. But because something is the sound, I think your either mic or your internet connection is low. But I will repeat the question. If Kaustuv and Tibor, you can hear me, I guess much better. So what do you think about ranking universities according to the SDG-focused research published in peer-reviewed journals? So we have a lot of talk about university rankings and how they should be ranked, and whether we are, especially Croatia is very focused. Are we on the list? At which list we are? And what is our position? But do you think this is actually something we should go along with, you know, to incorporate SDGs into the journal ranking systems and to rank the journals according to that. Because I guess that Hasib wanted to say that it could be biased because we have, of course, universities which are much more bigger and more developed with a lot of resources, and they can finance much more researchers, especially in those fields related to SDGs, like in the industry, innovation, infrastructure, waste consumption, etc. So we could be, you know, walking on the border, thin border. What do you think, Tibor? First, you, because you're coming from the University of Zagreb.
Yeah, I mean, I can just have a short comment. Of course, as you said, basically the ranking lists are always ambivalent. I could say, you know, we who work at the university are always, as you said, watching, and at one hand you are kind of proud if you get your university up, but we also know that there are a lot of issues with these lists, and they take different kind of, as Hasib, a different kind of area which maybe some universities don't excel and they excel in some other areas. So it's you always have to approach it with some kind of a careful notion and see. But when we talk about this SDG ranking, I could be inclined more to I've seen now that Hasib has written the question and Q&A. A bias could be introduced by this. I could maybe more relate to that idea as probably the universities that are maybe higher or maybe more we can say higher on the list or have more resources I guess they will have more resources to put to attain the SDG goals, or so when, I mean, we're joking here at our faculty. I don't know, we are during the winter a few months ago for a few weeks we didn't have the heating, so we were joking we are attaining the SDG goals because there was no heating in the building at the university, so we were all in the coats.
Sometimes we are very environmentally friendly, dude.
Yeah. And that makes me wonder, you know, I know that in my university or faculty, that wouldn't be the priority to invest in the attaining the SDG goals when there are, let's say, bigger issues at stake. So I guess it depends. Probably some universities that really invest in the SDGs could see their ranking go higher, but at our example, I don't see it coming very soon, at least.
And what about you, Kaustuv? What is your position on that? Is it good to measure things according to the SDG actions or researchers, or it's just a way to I don't know, try to advocate more and to raise the awareness and not to measure things according to this standard?
Yeah, I mean, this is the first time I'm hearing of this, so I probably need to look into this a little more with a little more detail to actually have a proper comment. The first thing that I kind of sort of will agree with whatever Tibor said, and it's very true that there are, like, you know, two sides to it, right? On one side, you want more research and more investment in these SDGs because they are, you know, addressing some real world problems. I mean, the temperature of the earth is increasing, right? So we need more, you know, to think about these problems. But on the other hand, ranking them as Hasib pointed out, or even Tibor pointed out, it's probably like you have to think about it before just sort of coming to conclusions would be my point of view.
It could cause more damage. Yes, I agree with you completely. Unfortunately, we run out of time, although I would like to extend this discussion, but I'm hoping very much to see you at our Oslo conference from 14 to 16 May, or at least online. There will be a session regarding this topic, so I invite you all to join us if possible, and also there will be a free webinar from our GEMS sponsors, how small publishers can make a big impact. It's on Tuesday, 29th April, so Mary put the links in the chat so you can register for the conference. I want to thank you both for very interesting presentations and useful tips, and very impressive work you both are doing, and also to thank Hasib for joining our discussion, and Jo Wixon, she was very active in the chat, and all of you who attended this webinar. And think about SDGs, promote it, and think how you can, with your journal or your institution, contribute to that. And I'm looking forward to the future discussions in this direction. Thank you all. Bye, and see you soon at some other EASE event. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
See you all. Bye-bye.